Man. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and it's raining outside, man. It's really cold. And God, I got up at like 2:30 this morning, and I just got to this receiver at like 6 a.m. So I'm quite tired, but I'm gonna be driving to, I think it's somewhere in Texas. It should be a fun day today. But anyway, welcome to the channel, whoever's out there. I kind of just did this last second, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, I think more and more I'm realizing how important just, the independence of being an expat, man. And it's just kind of like one of those things that's right in front of our face, but we don't realize it most of our lives. I think some people realize it later in life, like when they reach their, 60s and 70s, they finally realize, what the heck have I been doing all this time? I'm going to go stretch that dollar and get out of the system so I no longer have to be tied to all this. I think once you buy into any establishment, any system, you're kind of just, you start getting socially, you start having weird thoughts, man. Like you got to, vote for this and do that. And you live in certain neighborhoods and, everything's so polarized now in the U.S. with like politics and everything. Good morning, Tangerine. Thank you. Hey, Scott. You cannot buy into these politicians, man, or you're totally screwed. I'm telling you, I think the independence part is so key, right? Because then, but I get it. Like, not all of us can like live in trucks. We can't live on the streets. We can't live in cars. All things which I've done. I'm very proud of that, by the way. I take a lot of pride in that. And because all those years that I was like that, they just said, oh, he just lives that way. He doesn't have any beliefs. He doesn't have any ideology. He's just a poor, broke scumbag. That's the reason why he does that. And so after all those years, and all that work and all that saving, I'm still not going to buy in. And that's my choice. Well, it really is. So instead, you know what I did? I built a house in the Philippines. It's still being built right now. It's almost done. But anyway, welcome to the live stream. I hope you're all doing well out there. It's Captain Trucker, man. I miss you guys. And if I haven't told you enough, I do appreciate all of you. I really do. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel and everybody that, comes back to watch. I know that sometimes I post random videos and, maybe some people aren't into it, and that's okay. Try not to take things so personally. Although, they say that. They say, like, oh, don't take things personally. But it is kind of like a personal channel. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you do that? I'm working on it. I'm saying, like, when people don't watch some videos and they watch others, but that's just the way it goes, man. That's the algorithm. I mean, I post a video talking about, education, raising my son abroad, comparing cultures, why Americans don't understand the Filipinos, and just different stuff. And then people are like, yeah, awesome. And then I'll do one the next day that, means a lot to me and nobody cares. And that's okay. I don't expect him to. Scott says, I remember being in Ireland in the 70s and they would ask me if I was Catholic or Protestant. Yeah, well, with religion, I'm not going to comment so much on that. Sometimes people treat religion, like in a tribal way too, right? So it's not so much about, getting close to God and your relationship with God and, how you understand the scriptures and pray and all that. It's, what church do you go to? It's always funny when you hear people like, I was in church once, I heard somebody gossiping about some other family. I was like, dude, really? In church? If you're going to do that? No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of good church people, man. We can't just sit there and go like, oh, all the people that go to church are a bunch of hypocrites and liars. I mean, I'm sure some of them are, but not all of them. That's not fair, right? There's some really great Christians out there, man. There's like some real Christians out here in America and abroad. That's a true story. Scott says it's the same as politics in the U.S. today. Yeah, I know. Scott says, I told them I was agnostic, and they would ask if it was Catholic agnostic or a Protestant. Everybody and their labels. Yeah, man. Well, that's how that goes. How about this? I'm into transnationalism. I was going to say trans. I said transnationalism. Modern expats live between countries, right? So you maintain ties, family, work, investments in their homeland while building a life abroad. We have these very linear ways of thinking in general, especially with the way we classify people, right? We always, and everybody likes to signal, but you know, expats can live in multiple countries, right? You don't have to like stay put in an individual spot. That's one of the other advantages. You know, I think we tend to just we're like creatures of habit, man, wherever we go. And it's like, you look at experience, like how good is your experience anywhere? I mean, if you just sit in the same spot, I mean, I don't know, we get caught in habits, right? Scott says, I tell them I'm for the Constitution and truth, and they look at the puzzled look on their face. Oh. Yeah, I don't get into too many of those kind of arguments, but that's okay. They say historically people have lived abroad for the 5 main reasons. Check this out. Well, number 1, economic. Who would have guessed? Merchants in the colonial ports, modern remote workers moving to low-cost countries. People relocate to maximize income or lower cost. And also, their motivations was political or ideological. Descendants, refugees, political exiles. They call it the push-pull theory. Political instability pushers and people away. Yeah. There's also cultural, adventure, artists in Paris, for instance, in the 1920s. They're kind of like the digital nomads today in a weird way. Yeah. And then obviously people have careers, and that's the reason why they do that. But yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon today, man. It's got that real Portland, you know, northwestern look. It's real dreary and it's like cold and stuff. So I'm not sure what that's about, but I guess it's almost winter time. I think that's what it is. It does rain a lot up here. That's a true story. Yeah, I mean, God, I got so tired this morning, dude. I was like waking up. So I thought I'd do a live stream. It kind of stimulates my mind. Wake the mind up. You guys want to see my new glasses? Well, I've had these for a while, but I don't wear them because I got the wrong lens. These are terrible glasses, man. I got the wrong lens. They looked horrible. My son said I look like a grandpa. These are the biggest, worst glasses ever, dude. But they really do work. They really do. Corrado says, wow, I just woke up. Thank you. I know I can be that stimulated mentally. I hope so. I really do. Guys, we gotta have empathy for one another. Otherwise, we're screwed, man. This is a cruel, nasty world in some respects. And I mean, we gotta look for the positive. What can I say? You know, I mean, believe me, I can go down the negativity road all day long. You know, it can be really easy. Let's do it together. No, let's not. Corrado says, no, but I got to take care of this thing before I get up. I'm not sure what this thing is, but, oh, yeah, I don't want to know what that means. Thank you, Tangerine. Wow. That was fun. Okay. God, I keep hearing about the future, man. Like so much about the future. Oh, man. And, you know, I'm doing my best not to block these people these days, Corrado. So if you could help me out here, I would appreciate it. What was I going to say? So you just derailed my train of thought. It's working. You're distracting my attention. God. Hold on a second. I had something important to say. Sorry, I just got grossed out and disturbed. Tangerine, can you help me? What was I just saying? I thought I had something important to say. Now I'm mildly disturbed. I'm getting over it. Give me a second. Oh yeah, I keep hearing about stuff about the future, man. And that's good. Like, we should focus on the future, right? But thank you, Hydra. All the love from India. Right on, man. I love all my Indian viewers. I love the Middle East. I love my Indian viewers. I love all of them. See, I'm doing like the Trump thing with the hands. And, we got a lot of viewers actually in the Philippines. I bet a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of Filipinos like this channel, and I do appreciate that. I really do. I posted stuff in my community section lately. I was talking about how we've created this unique channel and everything. And that was cool. And then I did another post that had this pyramid. And I called it the psychological hierarchy of vloggers as well as the audience in these different tiers of, I guess, maybe like, I don't know, I guess they can call it class of material or something, from like the bottom was like flashy, narcissistic, just low quality. And the other ones, what were the other ones? I already forgot. They were like escapism and stuff like that. It was kind of interesting, and then at the top was like, philosophical or something like, and then the audience in the tiers was different too. Like you had followers, you had working class professionals and artists. And it was kind of weird. It was kind of mixed up and stuff. And in the diagram, I put myself at the top, but I didn't. I didn't mean to imply that I was like always at the top. That's why I said, we all fall in these different tiers at different times as both creators and the audience. Believe me, there's plenty of trash material in life that I watch or have watched. And then, sometimes you're at a higher level of function and then sometimes lower, if you will. Looking at it from that perspective, it's not really, I'm not really a big guy in categorizing things either, but I just thought it was a fun mental exercise. But anyway, you just never know how people perceive stuff like that. But either way, I find it hilarious. So that's why I didn't remove it. I kept it up there. All right. Hydra says, welcome, Tangerine. Yeah, she's great, man. She's been such a great supporter of this channel. I might just shed a tear. Well, yeah, she's been here through a lot of the ups and downs. And what more can you ask from somebody, right? Especially on a real life channel. Because believe me, we got ups and downs on this channel, that's for sure. Oh, God. I'm having a good time. What was I going to say? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I keep hearing about the future a lot, right? And like, man, like with the way, whenever they talk about the future, it's like everything's inevitable and it's always very broad. And then you just wonder, when this transhumanism stuff and when this AI takeover is going to replace all jobs and put us all in this universal high income, and then nobody's going to work anymore, nobody's going to struggle, so we're going to have to like redefine like what our meaning is in life, and everybody's going to start indulging in these weird activities, and they're going to live in these strange virtual realities, and there will be, I guess, no more poverty and less crime because people, they won't be like, fighting and robbing and killing, so to speak, to make money because they're going to have money. And so then the next question is like, what's the next human purpose? What's our purpose after, I think Maslow had a hierarchy too. Or was that Maslow? I don't know. One of those behavioral psychologists is like, you had the bottom is, your basic needs, and then this and this and this. And then it's like self-actualization when you're finally reaching your best self and all that. And I think for a lot of us, like in the West, especially in America and other cultures, I think we just generally think in terms of money, so everything's always like money, flash, money. And, there can be some correlation to that, to level of functioning, right? But we all know, I mean, you can cure cancer and make a lot of money as a scientist, or you can be Jesse James and make a lot of money, or like, I don't know, some lying shady realtor and make a lot of money. But hey, as long as you got those numbers, you're doing good. It's not that simple, right? So we got to get those basic needs covered, number one. And then, oh, you're going to the Philippines right now? Where are you leaving from? But anyway, yeah, just life's a trip, man. I want to interview somebody too, guys. I want to start doing more interviews. So if you're interested in doing interviews, send me an email and then we can talk. And that'd be great. Hydra Killer 007 says, good, Tangerine, and all the best. You have the greatest days. Thank you, Hydra. I appreciate that. All right, you guys can talk to Tangerine. I won't get jealous. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Oh, God. I'm totally joking. I really am. What am I looking for? All right. Expatriate identity and privilege. How about that? That's a good one, huh? In sociology, scholars note that, quote, expats and, quote, migrants are often socially distinguished by class and race. Wealthy Westerners abroad are called, quote, expats. Or some of them in the Philippines are known as douchebags. I'm just joking. Oh, God. I'm full of comedy this morning. I'm having a good time. Scott says, no, I'm packing a 20-foot container to ship to the Philippines, and it gets there sometime in January when I'm back. Guys, there's a lot of great expats in the Philippines. There really is. I think we're seeing a change in the future, too. I think that was part of the message of my channel, or at least what I was hoping for. And look, I'm not trying to say like I'm the epitome role model for all the great expats, because I'm not. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. Yeah. And, you know, we got to seek truth. That doesn't mean that we're always in truth. I mean, we live in a complex world, man, of like, you know, higher principalities of good and evil and all this stuff. And it's, you get pulled into things, and God, social media is crazy, man. It really is. I mean, you see this in social media so much, you know. I mean, you ever wonder, like, how do people see you? You know what I mean? It's like, trolls can sometimes give you a little bit of insight, but not really. They kind of, I mean, some of the smart ones can, but, you know, some of the guys are just like, hey, dickhead! And you don't really learn much from them. But sometimes, occasionally, you'll get, like, meaningful criticism, and then you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you don't really want to like block people, because that's kind of a cop-out too. I think we have a cancel culture mentality in social media for some creators when it comes to like trolls, right? They're like, I don't want to listen to anything negative. Block! And it's kind of lame too, right? I mean, we shouldn't indulge in negativity 24/7, because that's like not good for you, but we got to listen to some of it if it makes sense. Now, if it's if it's just like, you know, somebody like making up lies, I mean, it's like, well, wait, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say like so-and-so person robbed a bank and was convicted of a felony. You know, here's their name, here's their channel. I mean, you can't do that. You can't like say somebody died. Just, I mean, it's like entertaining, but but not really, because like, well, I mean, once you get into the lies and all that kind of stuff, like it's no longer funny. It's like, oh shit, and then you're just like waiting for like, I don't know, something bad to happen, I guess. But yeah. Well, that's the thing between, you know, like, see, real creative geniuses, they're able to do satires. They're able to communicate on a higher level of function and to get their point across, right? And I think that's what a lot of us as artists and other people, we strive for, whether we realize it or not, is it's reaching higher levels of functioning in the sense of we're more interconnected with people, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense? So things become more abstract and less explicit at that level. Oh God, I'm having a good time. Oh my God. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? Why did you like what? Anyway, I'm having a good time. Who else is here today? Hit that like button. You guys having fun today or what? Listen, if I wanted to, I could probably make a career out of being a troll, okay? But I don't want to unleash the dark side of my personality because it just sucks, you know? It's like, and I've learned a lot of stuff on social media too, is like, and I heard somebody say this once, and it's a great line, man. They said like it's easier to tear a house down than to build it up. I don't think, somebody didn't make it up. It's probably a common quote, but I heard someone say that once, and I was like, man, that's a really good line. And, I think that we just gotta be better. We gotta like do what we're supposed to do in life. Or no, we need to do what we need to do in life. Not supposed. We need to. Because then otherwise, some of us have different callings. We have different things we should be doing. Like, we got to put ourselves out there. I think, on some level, like at least I thought maybe like I wanted to get into acting when I was a kid. And I had like a comedy show on public access and stuff. And then I think after being in LA for a while, under different circumstances, LA is filled with a lot of like people that are like messed up, man, like, and they're confused, and that whole industry, and it's like, so it's kind of like, I always like doing independent stuff. And, truck driving's interesting because I've told this people before, is like, I never really thought of myself as a truck driver, but there's a certain humility, and there's a certain honesty, and there's a certain independence to it that I like, that I find very attractive. And I think that's one of the reasons why I keep staying with it. But also, seeking the expat life, it provides that flexibility too. So you can pretty much, work when you want and go back and forth, which is really great. And a lot of truck drivers don't realize that because like a lot of other people, they're just stuck in the matrix way of thinking. They're stuck in that like, I need to buy a house and work my whole life and buy a house, then I'll be successful. I need to go buy a house. I mean, okay. You don't have to buy a house. If you have kids, that's different. What you got to do is build a bamboo hut in a flood zone in the Philippines. No, don't do that. But what you got to do is, if you're going to build a house in the Philippines, like, you got to check the flood map too. They have like different flood zones in different parts. Apparently, Manila, Luzon, all that, Mindanao, really bad flood zones, folks. So be careful. Be careful down there. Don't build a house there, especially if you're not using concrete. God, but I feel so bad, man, for some of the people in poverty there that like, God. And then some people don't want to escape, or I'm sorry, some people don't want to like flee when there's a storm coming for different reasons. Can you imagine those floods? Did you guys see those floods? Did you see how high they got? Like the water? I mean, can you imagine the cars flying down the street? All that? I mean, what a mess. What a mess. Unbelievable. So I just posted two new videos recently, and they were kind of a bit not off topic, but they weren't some of my more popular subjects. And as a result, they didn't get a lot of views, which, it always, the ratios were good, but I'm like, oh man, I wish I got more views. But what are you going to do, But some people might have a different perspective of that. But I can assure you it's just because it was a different topic. Historical archetypes of expats. Did we already do this one? Check this out. In the ancient world. Traders, scholars, and mercenaries, dude. Greek traders in Egypt and Roman officials abroad. Wow. Scholars, huh? The digital age, the 21st century. Digital nomads and psychopaths. No, I'm just joking. Let's see. Tech freelancers in Bali. Yeah. Retirees in Mexico or the good old Philippines. Good old Philippines. This is what's got to happen, bottom line. My name is Rishai, and I'm in California. And you're in California? Or you work for a company in California from South India. Oh, my bills are here. Hey, Lo. Hi.
You're all set.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Do I have to go inside?
No, you're done.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Have a good day.
You too.
Guys, we gotta leave. We're gonna have to jet out of here, and I'm gonna continue talking because I like to talk. And we're gonna drive down the road. You guys excited? Who else is here today? Scott, Hydra, Tangerine, and okay, very good. Oh man, here we go. Contemporary themes of expat independence. Autonomy from national constraints, escaping taxes, bureaucracy, or cultural pressures. How about that? Oh, chartered accountant. That's cool. Search for authenticity, finding community or meaning abroad. And good old geo-arbitrage, our favorite word. Self-reliance and masculine independence. It doesn't have me listed. ChatGTP says, often emphasized in expat YouTube culture. It says parentheses, example, Captain Trucker in Nomad Capitalist. I'm not sure if it has me in there. I don't know. I wasn't, because I'm not logged into this one. That's weird. I'm not that popular. I'm a small mid-tier channel. I didn't realize I talked about that. Oh, is that what I represent? Self-reliance and masculine independence? I never said. That's what this says. I swear. I'll show you. I didn't write this. This is hilarious. I didn't claim that, all right? You know, I'm just, sometimes you get tired of having to walk on eggshells around everybody your whole life, you know, because, oh, I don't want to offend this person, or, but then sometimes you have to, like, almost degrade yourself because other people are so insecure. And you know, the other thing about men is, I think men seem to think that, like, you know how you hear women talk about, like, women get jealous of, like, other women's looks and stuff, but, and I'm not trying to sound all, like, vain and shit, but honestly, like, men do too. Like, men are weird about looks. Like, if you know, you have, like, a little bit of muscle or, like, hair, and, you know, like, they kind of, like, they some of them get threatened by that. Like, just like women, you know, they're like men in the locker room gossip. I mean, I remember when I was starting the trucking company, like, years ago. I remember these guys, they were talking shit about me behind my back. They go, yeah, well, maybe he should train those calves as much as he trains those biceps. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like shit like that. But it's kind of funny, though, you know? It's like, I don't really expect stuff like that. Oh, wait, but hold on. That's what this says. Oh, you know what? But I think I think I was Googling something. That's why it came up. Anyway, sorry. Critiques. Some modern expats as, quote, neo-colonial or escapist. Others see them as pioneers or global freedom. Guys, I didn't put my name in that other one I was just reading. I wasn't trying to sound all, like, egotistical. It's just what this said. Because I think, because I was searching something else, it just put that there. It's AI, you know, so it kind of mixes things. Anyway, who else is out there today? Send a message. We got some silent viewers, some fans, some trolls. Who's out there, man? Send a message. We got some people in the room right now. I don't know why it says that even. I forgot why I even put that on there because I don't talk about like masculinity a lot. I don't think I do. Not sure where that came from. Anyway. Oh, did I come up in perplexity, Hydra? Let me know. I probably didn't. I mean, you'd probably have to type in YouTube or something. Yeah, Joe Rogan's using perplexity now. I tried to use it, but I don't understand what the big deal is. He says that's like his big sponsor now. Well, I guess that's it. We're going to Texas. Oh, that's what it says. So it's got me in perplexity. That's what it says. That's cool. So it basically just took the description on the about page. Ask it some other questions. See if it comes up with something more creative. All right. What are we doing? Yeah, I like when they use the word modest. It is an appropriate word, I guess. I mean, it's not a mega channel, right? It is modest in the bigger picture of things, man. But yeah. Anyway, I don't want to start talking about channel. Let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. It showed my pic. Oh, that's cool. Did I look handsome in it? Okay, so I just posted a video about the, I called it, I woke up in the circus of the Philippines expat community, or the Philippines vlogging night. And I look, personally, this is one of my favorite performances ever. I think it was really funny. I think it was like comedy gold, man. And yeah, just totally flopped. Got like 230 views. But that's more, I guess I kind of was making it for you know, particular us vloggers and some audience members, but yeah, it just flopped. You know, so like, damn. Oh geez, what am I gonna do now? I had another video that flopped. Better do better next time. It's funny, man. No matter how many times I do this, I admit it. Like every time, I'm like, oh. You always want it to do better, you know? And then you got to justify it and rationalize it in your head. Well, I mean, it is true. Like, certain people subscribe for certain things, and then they just don't watch certain things. And I'm all over the place. Oh, God. Yeah, that's me, Hydra. That's 100% me. I don't know, man. There was a guy that oh, never mind. Hold on. Let me get my mind together here, folks. I gotta travel, okay? So we're leaving Portland now, and we're going to somewhere in Texas. Actually, I think we're going to Houston. You all ready to go to Houston, Texas? Thank you. He says, good morning, everyone, especially to, I don't know who that is, but thank you. Loner from Sacktown. All right. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay. I used to joke around that I used to have this theory, and it was a long time ago, and I used to joke that whenever people use the term buddy, it was on some level like it had potentially homosexual connotations in it. Now I say that, I'm not making fun of you, sir. I say everybody says buddy, okay? But I had this whole theory behind it. I don't know why. And then I used to like tell everybody about it, and then it was the same with, well, because it's kind of like a pet, you know. It's almost like he's my little, he's my buddy. And then like when you hear grown men say it, no, I get it. Like they're friends. You can call, I mean, you call them friends, or I guess some people could say pals. I just never use buddy for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, you're a prisoner of the highway too, Phil Collins? Right on, man. Welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like button, guys. Share your thoughts, okay? This is a thoughtful channel, believe it or not. We're trying to reach higher levels of human thoughts. Oh my God. Oh my God. Man, I'm having a good time this week. This has been a really interesting week. Oh God. Oh God. So who else is here, man? We got some people in the room. Where are you guys watching from, man? Are you just sitting there watching me like, my CDL has ruined my life, Phil Collins says. I got to take a urine test in a bit. All right. Well, urine tests are no problem, right? Are you going back to work, or are you been selected this quarter for a random, or what? I can't even tell you how many of those tests I've taken. I've probably done, God, jeez, maybe like 30. It just gets old. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like going out there to drop the trailer, and you gotta, you know, put the landing gear down and pull the trailer release and take off the glad hands. It's such hard work. No, it's not. I don't know, man. It's like it's not really a physical work, but that's why you got to exercise. It's important. Why you starting another crappy company? Why don't you go to a good company? Why do guys do that? Like, why do drivers go to, like, well, I don't want to list companies because it's not cool, but like the obvious bad company. I'm probably saying that because I'm like not working for the highest paying company right now, but that's because I like their loads. I like the fact that we got long hauls, and I just kind of wanted to take it easy this year. You know, I was hustling pretty hard in the past, but I'm thinking about going to Alaska. That's sort of like my next mission, sort of. But it's complicated because I don't know when they're going to be hiring in the union, and I got to be able to get there immediately, and I got to buy like a parka. I got to invest in some Arctic snow equipment, and that's fine. I can do that. But it's just a matter of logistics right now. But I want to go up there. I want to go up there. It's going to be really cold. You guys ever see The Shining? Jack Nicholson. Wendy, open the door. He's the caretaker for this hotel, and he just fucking goes crazy. It's a horrible movie. I read the book a long time ago too. It's even worse. I'm sorry, it's not worse. It's even more disturbing, is what I mean. I drive a mixer. It's just another jobs that pay per diem. Well, why don't you get excited about it? I mean, at least you're making money, right? That's cool. I mean, work's what we make it. Have you seen The Shining? Yeah, that's Jack Torrance in the Overlook Hotel. Craziest scene, man. I told a story about this in my last video about the YouTube circus. I kind of explained that I had a weird Jack Torrance moment in the dream that I had, in the vision. Because I was describing the characters at the YouTube circus, right? I said when you walked in, there was this... Okay, well, let me start over. Let's start the dream over. So I'm teleported to this tent, and it's kind of dark with like warm saturated colors, and it's got that, you know, like a circus coloring, right? And you got like people in the audience, and there's this guy at the door, the shortish, bald, black dude with a big smile on his face when you'd walk in the door, and he was handing out condoms to everybody, saying like, hey man, when you help other people, you help yourself. Welcome to the circus, man. That's all I do is help people. And then he would turn around, and he had this hookah pipe, and he would like we would blow out the biggest smoke clouds, and the crowd would cheer like, yeah, woo, And most of the crowd looked like normal people, right? Just like regular people, like, hey, let's go to the circus, honey. And then a small part of the crowd were these kind of zombie-ish looking people, and they didn't have eyes. That was the creepy part. So from a slight distance, it just looked like black holes, okay? And so you're saying, my God, what's going on here in this circus? And they kind of just made noises like, "Rah!" And then some of them could form like words or sentences that say stuff like, hey, stupid face. And then there was another guy there, like in the middle, kind of like in the middle-ish, and then he kept repeating the same lines over and over and over and over again. So he would say, it's perfectly natural for older men to be attracted to younger women. And the Philippines offers these kind of age gap dynamics to people looking for those type of relationships. It's a different culture. And he kept repeating it like over and over and over and over again. And then like there was this other guy, like, I don't know, he had like white sunglasses on. I couldn't quite figure out what his act was, but he was pretending like he had some sort of neurological disability, but he really didn't have it, but he was doing it to be funny, and like people thought it was funny, or they didn't know to laugh or like make fun of him. They didn't know what to do, because he was kind of this older dude, and he was like really jacked. He had muscles, but he had these white sunglasses on, so they're like, oh, it was like they kind of thought it was funny. And then this other guy, like, I guess he was like the pseudo ringmaster kind of, and he had this big microphone, and he kept yelling to everybody. He would kind of waddle back and forth to the audience to like rev them up and stuff, and he'd go, you are a loser, bro. You are such a loser. Give it up. And then the zombie people would go, stupid face. And then like the other audience members just kind of like, they would smile. They were more civilized, so they would just clap, because I don't know. And then there was like this woman there. I guess she was there with her husband, and she was nice too. And she was doing like these mock bios of everybody, all the characters in the circus. And she would say stuff like, this is Tim McMillan. He's often seen he's from Dumageddon, and you can see him on the Slippers Guys channel. That's the guy handing out the condoms. And we'll have a more detailed bio after we run our background check. So she was given these like mock bios of all the characters on the stage, okay? And this is what I call the Philippines vlogging circus, expat vlogging circus. And oh yeah, there was another guy. He was running around the stage like taking selfies with everybody, saying like, hey! And then he was nice too. He'd put his arms around him, like take selfie with all the characters. And so I'm observing all this, right? And then it occurred to me, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Like, I'm not in the audience watching this. I'm not like from above, like up in the heavens or something, like looking down watching it. And then it occurred to me that I was in the middle of the stage. Like I was in the center of this circus. And it was strange, because when the dream first started, I had on like a pinstripe suit and like a hat, and I kind of looked like this 1950s American James Bond. I thought, at least I thought so. I mean, who knows? I don't know what I look like, but anyway. And then by the time I realized that I was in the middle of the circus, I looked down and I had a clown outfit on, and I had the red nose and everything, and like the puffy hair, and I realized that I was the clown at that circus. And it just blew my mind. But anyway, it brought me back to that sentiment in the movie, or the book rather, or the movie too, The Shining, when Jack Nicholson's character, Jack Torrance, was hired to be the caretaker at this hotel, I think called the Overlook Hotel. And he has this weird moment in the bathroom, I guess, I think it was in the bathroom, where the bartender, I think his name was Lloyd. Yeah. He tells him that, he says, Mr. Torrance, you've always been here. And then he just couldn't wrap his mind around it. He was like, what? But anyway, so yeah, I just thought that was kind of a funny vision. None of those characters represent people, of course. Just a strange dream. It really was. Did you guys like that story? Phil Collins says, I've been to that hotel. Is that an actual hotel in The Shining? Is that like a tourist spot? I didn't know that. Is there a hotel in like Colorado called the Overlook Hotel? Anyway, I told that story in the last video. I thought it was hilarious because, of course, I like my own material naturally, but yeah, whatever. Oh, God. God help me. You know, the more I do this, man, the more I just appreciate the audience and the people that watch. I can't explain it. I think earlier this year I was in this plateau and I was just kind of like going through the motions, like, you know, okay, I'll make it, you know, just. But I mean, because I like the channel, I put a lot of work into it, and Phil Collins says we should go to college. Now, why do you say that? You want a suit and tie job? You can go do that. Why do you want to go to college? Who else is out there? Send us a message. We're having a good time today. You seem like a nice guy. I think I am a nice guy. I can be not nice sometimes. You know, I mean, look, we all have different sides and different shapes and abstractions within our own characters. We have what Carl Jung calls, what is it? I don't want to say the dark side, or there's a, what's it called? Oh, the shadow self. Yeah, the shadow self. The things you hate about others is really your shadow self. Well, that's, you know, that's kind of cheesy. I mean, not everything is projection. We have these very linear, simplistic terms as most people, with our understanding of our fellow humans and our fellow self and our people, that we think in these very simple terms, right? So, and when it comes to psychology, a lot of people are always like, that's projection! They say everything's projection, right? Meaning the person is attributing their own values and stuff onto somebody else, and therefore they lack the objectivity of a proper analysis of that person or whatever. So, for instance, you say, I need a good example of projection right now. Hold on. Jeez, I lost myself. Somebody help me with a good example of projection. It's what Freud calls a defense mechanism. I took a lot of psych classes in college, right? I really did. I studied abnormal psych, behavioral psych. What else? What other ones were there? There's a lot of silly classes there. Man, my abnormal psych teacher was a trip, though, dude. I can't give too many details, but he worked. He worked in a prison, and so during the day, he worked in this prison as a you know, one of the counselors, or I think so, or you know, he worked with the inmates, but like people that had really you know, committed like horrible crimes and like murdered people and shit. And so this is the people he was dealing with during the day, and then at nighttime he would teach the students. And he had this ongoing really annoying joke that he kept doing it even though everybody was annoyed by it, because he would act like he would forget. So he would call the students the inmates, and you know, by like the 7th time he did it, it wasn't like funny anymore, but he kept doing it. It was like a passive aggressive thing. But anyway, the whole class was mostly women too. So it was like 90% women in this class. And then there was me. And there was this guy behind me, and he was an older guy at the time. And he would always talk about how Jewish he was, and he would always like make all these Jewish references and stuff. And I don't know, it was just funny. I don't think he liked me though for some reason. But everybody was really intimidated by the teacher, not me, of course. I showed up late with an attitude. I was into rock and roll and drums at the time. I lived in an RV, had a really good time. And I would show up to class late, of course, and that really pissed him off. But I think part of him liked me. And then towards the end, because he wanted to know about me and like he wanted to hear my story. Because this is like, he was a real, you know, how can I say, like, I don't know, man. He wasn't a very likable person, I guess. That's a good way to put it. He wasn't a likable person. Well, because he was mean. Like, he was kind of mean, right? And he was mean to me once in front of the whole class. And I think some of the women came to my defense. Well, okay, this is what it was. We were talking about, so in different therapies, they had something called, so for a patient who struggled with trauma, okay, they would have something called desensitized theory versus flood-in theory. So for instance, somebody has a trauma of, I don't know, snakes. Do you slowly desensitize the patient to the idea of snakes by, you know, talking about it, showing them photos of it, and then eventually maybe bringing them to a zoo and showing them a real life snake? Or do you just go, say it's like Indiana Jones, or do you just like throw them into a pile of snakes or surround them by snakes? Or so, like a better example, how about swimming? Like they're afraid of water. And so do you start them off in the shallow end, you know, with like floaties on, or do you just throw them off the diving board into the deep end? And he was like, well, generally it's really because he kind of talked like this a little bit. He said it's kind of a bad idea to just flood people, okay? That can traumatize them. And I raised my hand. I said, do you think that sometimes, you know, maybe flood-in theory can be the best option? Like you sort of just jump into the deep end, so to speak? And then all of a sudden he had all these contortions, and he goes, yeah, it reminds me of a guy who's angry at authority. I can't stop arguing with people. And he started like yelling and screaming. It was really weird. And I realized that he must have thought I challenged him or something, which I really wasn't. I wasn't trying to. I was just curious. And then anyway, it was all downhill from there. So anyway, months go by. Towards the end, he wants to be my friend now. I think after class, I was asking for an extension on the final assignment. And he turned around and he said, what's your story? And he kind of had like awe in his eyes, and he was kind of blinked. And I said, can I have another week on the assignment? And he goes, sure. And he turned around and like ran away like he was scared. It was weird. Because the whole time he was kind of a bully. And then, you know, and then behind the scenes, one-on-one, he was just as soft and sweet as could be. But at that point, it didn't matter because all the damage was done. I didn't want to talk to him at that point because he was so nasty to me. And yeah, that was it. That was the end of that story. But that was a great class, man. Oh yeah, that's what it was. The final assignment was a case study. So we would do like this mock case study. And I did one. I remember I was asking if he had graded it or asking for it back. I said, I said, have you graded my case study? And he goes, you mean your assignment? Like, hey, don't consider yourself a doctor now. You haven't put yourself into debt and gone to 9 years of med school. Once you do that, you've earned the right to call yourself a PhD. But don't say it now. It's not fair. I'm angry and I'm in debt, so I'm allowed to call my, you know, it's like that sort of thing. And that's what happens to a lot of, you know, not a lot, but some of them. Well, that whole field's a mess, dude. It really is. I mean, God, that whole industry is just a nightmare. But anyway, way off topic. Phil Collins says, you guys having fun? Do we want to change the subject? Should probably change the subject, huh? All right, I gotta get my gears going here. Do you guys want to talk about something? Somebody change the subject. I'm going to stop talking. Somebody bring up something to talk about. Then we'll talk about that. How about that? First person with an idea. Throw it out there. All right. Thank you, Phil Collins. We're getting this channel rocking and rolling again, guys. All right? Rocking and rolling. You ever see that movie? Oh, man, that was such a messed up movie, dude. I'm not going to say what it was. I'm going to stay positive. All right, give me 1 second. It's going to pause maybe. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. My glass is broken. Phil Collins says, how do we fix this drug epidemic in the United States? Well, the problem is that a lot of people are probably making money from the epidemic, similar to the homeless problem. So there's a lot of government jobs and bureaucrats and people that run these these homeless charities and different stuff, and they make a lot of money. So sometimes, unfortunately, in bureaucracies, people don't have a reason to fix problems because that jeopardizes their jobs. It's like that with some politicians in the U.S. too. They actually sometimes, apparently, this is what I've heard. I just, I get my material from other people too. Apparently, like that stuff with the people in space, that SpaceX thing or something. I don't know. Was that Elon Musk's deal? But those people were stuck up in space, and you realize that Joe Biden could have sent somebody up, or Elon, to bring them down, and they wouldn't do it because, or no, I'm sorry, they were waiting for the election. Or how did that work? It was something to do with they didn't want to give Trump credit for it, or vice versa. Anyway, they didn't do it, and they left these fucking poor people up there because they didn't want to retrieve them for political optic reasons. Isn't that unbelievable? See, that's the kind of shit you're dealing with when you get sociopaths in power, all right? This is the world, man. So he says, how do we fix the drug epidemic? Well, I mean, how do you fix evil? That's the better question. I think we just need God, and we need to have more empathy for one another. A lot of it goes back to the scriptures, I think. Magnum Funnel says, how much can a new CDL driver make per month over the course of 5 months? Spend 5 months driving followed by 5 months abroad. Well, what do you mean new or like a year experience? Because you can go to better companies now after only 6 months, I think, or a year. How much can you make in 5 months? Depends on how hard you're working, what you're hauling, but I would say between $40,000 to $50,000. Maybe less. Depends on what you're doing, Phil Collins says, for us to be living in the best country in the world, we sure do have a lot of problems. Yeah. Lorna from Sacktown says, I love being an expat. I'm looking forward to another trip in February. October wasn't enough. Are you talking about my trips, or you did the same thing, or what? It's incredible. Incredible. Yeah, hauling the cement district, $2,000 a week. That's not bad, huh? Well, guys, that's why I want to go to Alaska, because that's where the real money is. Better buy a suit. I need my Arctic gear. Come on! I'm gonna deal with all this shit. Crazy world.
You know, part of me did my best to like kind of not separate myself, but you know, kind of stand on my own in that whole Philippines expat vlogging community. But I guess on some level, I can't deny that I'm part of it. So hey, let's just embrace everything, guys. Now, there's a lot of good people out there, man. The thing is, like, I don't even know most of the vloggers, right? I think people seem to think that we all know each other, but I don't know most of them. But I'm sure they're lovely people. I just don't know them. It takes a lot of courage to go out there and put yourself out there into the world and, you know, be seen by all these people and on and on and on. God, man, I want to be making a movie or something. No, I'm not making a movie, but at least interesting material. You know, it kind of occurred to me, I was like, you know what, this channel is my movie, right? It is like, this channel's like an ongoing art form, is the way I see it. It's the way I see it. How do you guys see it? Is anybody new to this channel? Or you guys, I know Tangerine's been here a long time. Who else is out there? Ugh. Oh yeah, you said your family lived in Anchorage. That's crazy. That's a trip.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Guys, I gotta figure out where I'm going. Von Duramal, thank you. He's been a great supporter lately, in the past, in the future. So thank you for all your support, sir. I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. We're on a mission, ladies and gentlemen. This channel is like a mission, but it's also a timepiece in history because we are in the transition of a technological takeover, and this channel is like a time capsule during that time for truck drivers, for modern expats, and all that. We have interconnected all of these worlds, okay? So we're like a multi-dimensional channel. Do you understand? This is the real thing. Why am I yelling? I'm like getting angry and stuff. I'm just joking around. I'm not angry. Folks, we just got to realize who you are, man, and stop, you know, walking on eggshells around people in society. And, you know, sometimes we just got to do our own thing. If you're meant to be on stage, go on stage, man. Whatever stage it's got to be. You don't have to be an A-list actor. You don't have to be on Broadway. You know, turn your phone on. It's just as good. Oh, God. You know, I was analyzing it. They were saying, like, YouTube isn't really meant for, like, well, I guess it's kind of like, it is kind of like a carnival, or, did I say a carnivore? No, a carnival, excuse me. And they say, like, people don't take YouTube seriously or vlogging seriously, but I kind of disagree. I mean, aren't there channels that talk about meaningful stuff, or like they do meaningful stuff, or it's like, it's not just all, you know, silliness and giggles, so to speak? I mean, don't people do meaningful stuff, right? Or can't they do a combination of all those things? Like, why do we have to be so limited by everything? Like, why can't you be a trucker and an expat and a philanthropist? I'm not saying I'm a philanthropist, or, you know, an astronaut, a father, all these things. We can do many things. We're too one-dimensional. You know, like, we even see that. You even see that in people. They kind of move that way. If you look at their body language, they're like, they look at the immediate environment. Like, they'll look literally at the ground they're walking on, like, I got my paper here, I'm going to put it in my pocket. And then they wait for somebody to like put a thought in their head or influence them and like, okay. And then they do something else, right? It's almost like a magic trip, like, it's kind of a trip. And I have another theory, man. I think that I gotta be careful of the words I use, because I don't want to get throttled. But I'm starting to wonder historically if a lot of the, because I was talking about, psychology earlier, in case anybody cared. But I'm wondering if some of that stuff, like in that corrupt industry and in psychiatry, if they've been, well, I bet the government has been doing studies with certain things, right? In terms of, I don't want to say mind control, but, well, there's been a lot of strange things. There's been a lot of strange studies by the government, apparently. That's all I'm going to say. It's true. You ever go to like Golden Gate Park, or you ever go to like New York City, and you meet the guy in the park that's clearly like his mind's like blown out on all this different stuff, and he'll say something weird, or then he says like he had like a chip put in his head, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, it's a schizophrenic homeless person. Then you write him off and you walk away. But the thing in the future is, like, they're saying that, oh God, what's it called? Oh man, I forgot the name of it now, man. But they're actually trying to do that. Like, we might actually have chips and stuff like what's it called, man? Can somebody help me here? Yeah, anyway, it's something about like putting chips in people's heads, man. Can you imagine? Oh, Neuralink. Is that what it's called? Neuralink, right? I guess it's easy to speculate on the future, but technology does take a while to evolve. The thing with the AI is they're saying it's becoming exponential, so it's just like, even Elon is saying each week they're making these like crazier and crazier discoveries that they didn't think were possible. I'm in a parking lot right now. Oh, Neuralink, yeah. Yeah, that could be a real thing in the future, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Imagine that. Boy, I love talking. Guys, I gotta go close the trailer doors. You want to go with me? Who else is out there? I know there's other people out there. I know you're watching. I can feel your energy. You know who is watching. Come on, say something. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. I'm right here. Come on. Tell me. I'm just messing with you. I'll be right back. I'm right here. Do it. Oh, define me. Guys, I gotta close these trailer doors, man. Give me a second. Yes, I'm not gonna make money in the parking lot. That's correct, Phil, but I gotta talk to my people, right? Not everything's about the money. We gotta think about our health. What's with these friggin' drivers and their health, dude? I get it, it's hard, but man, you're gonna have to get out and walk. Like, just walk for a half hour every night. That's all you gotta do, man. Well, no, not really, but for most people, that's all you guys do. It depends on your body and your mind and the type of person, the type of character you are. I'm in a parking lot right away. That's why I have my phone mounted on me. As soon as I hit the public roadways, I'm gonna mount the phone properly, and I'll no longer be able to read or see the text messages, but you guys will be able to communicate with me in spirit, and I'll continue talking, and then when I pull over, I'll read your comments. But give me 1 second, okay? Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm gonna come back harder, dude. Oh yeah. This is just the beginning. Okay, I'm back. Actually, guys, we're going to Washington right now. I said we're going to Texas. We're going to Texas later. Right now, we're going to somewhere in Washington. Let me check something. I'll be right back. Stay tuned, all right? Don't go anywhere, guys. I still gotta check something, okay? Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, folks, sorry for that delay. If anybody's still here, I appreciate it. I'm heading to Washington now, so I'm gonna film the road. You know what, I gotta refresh my screen again, because now I can't see it. Oh my goodness. Can't see my screen. Yikes. Why can't I see it? No, you are my life, Tommy. This whole channel was made for you. You didn't know that? That's why you're here right now. You were brought to me. Hold on a second. Let me turn this on. Alright, I'm gonna have to restart it, guys, because I can't see my screen again. It's ridiculous. Can anybody hear me out there, by any chance? I need to show my money. Look, I have money and a girlfriend. I'm winning at life. Look at me. Alright, hold on, guys. Let me start over. Hold on, we gotta help Tommy here. Somebody give Tommy attention, and I'll be right back, okay? Hold on. Can you see, though? You can only hear me, right? I don't know why I can't be seen. Alright,
You can't see anything though, right? I'm gonna have to close it and start it again. Hold on a second. I gotta get Tim Travels on here, man. He's the ex-lawyer truck driver. That guy inspires me. He's the best. Hold on. Okay, now we're back. We're back now? We back? Okay, great. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, very good. Okay. Right. I gotta get... Hold on a second. Alright, now we're back. Thank you all for showing up today. I appreciate it so much. You check out the first half of the stream for any trolls that just showed up. It will help you mentally. We're here to guide the trolls out of their darkness into the light. I'm going to do the best I can. I can only work with so many people for so long. If you don't reply to comments and you write something like psychopathic, then we're not going to be able to work with you. But if you're able to have a somewhat of a coherent conversation, we'll be able to keep you on the channel, okay? So that's the new rule. Because otherwise, I got to focus on more, I do have to kind of, direct energy on positive people too. You can't expect me to hold your hand through all this, all right? Okay? All right. Here we go. But don't worry, we'll do it together. Thank you, Steele. Anyway, guys, we're going to Washington. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. All right, look, I need to, I'm not going to apologize, but I think I was a little bit curt to Jeremiah at one point. And ever since then, he's not happy with me, but, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, we're an honest channel, It's like, take it or leave it, It's we see each other at different times. We go through the highs, the lows, and well, this is life, folks. All right, I'm gonna show you guys this parking lot. But I meant everything I said, though, Jeremiah. By the way, so that's why I'm not going to apologize. All right, welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all showing up. We are in Oregon today, going up to Washington, guys. I'm very excited. And then we're going down to Texas, man. And I want to get Tim Travels on this channel because he's a very, very interesting character. I've been trying to get him on for a long time, and he's one of my heroes, actually. No, not really a hero, but he's somebody that I've always admired because, he left his life as he was God, what kind of a lawyer was he? Some kind of like corporate real estate lawyer, and he made good money. He had a comfortable life, and yeah, he left all that to become a truck driver. And I just thought that was so cool. And he really, he advocates for truck drivers and all that kind of stuff. And I just think he's really underrated. I think his channel deserves more, more appreciation than it gets. And yeah. But I say that for guys like, Jeremiah and others who are like, oh, the trucker is a shitty job. And poor truckers, they don't make no money. They're stupid. But it's actually, it depends on what you're doing, really. And, I was talking about how trucking is really perfect for expat life as well. It really is. Like, it just fits the whole lifestyle. Well, it's what you make it, Phil. I mean, if you have a bad attitude about any job will suck on any level. I mean, there's wealthy, famous celebrities that end up becoming resentful and they hate their job. Comedians get that way too. Yeah. But anyway, here we go. Going to Washington, folks. Welcome to the channel. And when I'm driving, I'm not going to be able to read your comments. I can't see them now. So, Tangerine, if you're still here, I understand if you have to go. You've been here for a while. But if you are still here, if the trolls write anything crazy, just delete it, because it just kind of looks nasty. If they write anything like totally nasty. But other than that, you can keep it. Don't block them from the channel, though. Just delete the comments.
Continue 500 feet to the end of the street, then turn left.
Get to the chopper! Yeah, life's what you make it, man. I mean, shit, that sounds cheesy,
Turn
but
left.
it's kind of true, right? I mean, a lot of truckers hate their job, man. I mean, some of them do, some of them don't. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, right? It just all comes down to character in the end. Some people are just miserable. Some people make the most of life. It's that sort of thing.
Continue 1/4 mile to the end of the street, then turn right.
This is a very narrow parking lot I'm in.
At the end of the street, turn right. Turn right on Southwest 115th Avenue. In 1/4 mile, turn right on Southwest 2 Aladdin Sherwood Road.
Welcome to the Captain Trucker live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to inspire humanity and pretty much look forward to the future and start like new lives. You know, we're gonna be chained down by this suppression and just bad ways of thinking. We're gonna get outside of the box and we're gonna stay independent in the process. Some people don't understand about trucking that it gives you a sense and provides you with independence. Because you don't have to like work with the boss, you don't have to deal with office
Turn
politics.
right at the traffic light.
You don't have to deal with this and that. And you kind of learn to embrace minimalism as well. Now, a lot of us in the corporate world, sometimes as we go along, we can get caught up in a bougie, middle-class delusion, or illusion, if you will. And we've done multiple videos on that.
you know, a lot of people in their early 40s get caught in debt. Their net worth is okay, but they're usually tied down. And being tied down is not what we want for the expat life. Is that correct? Do I get a truth on that one, huh? But I get it. We all get caught up in it. There's always a point in life where we go through where we all waste money and stuff like that. Keep up with the Joneses. Buy a nice car. Eat at good restaurants twice a week, 3 times a week, every day. We all have like these bougie habits in some respects, right?
In 2.25
Indulgences.
miles, take the ramp, follow
Better way to
right to I-5 North toward Portland.
Oh, we're gonna get to see Portland, guys. You excited? Portland, Oregon, kids. But hey, I'm not judging people living the middle-class American dream, quote-unquote. I'm not. If people are comfortable and that gives them a sense of purpose and they're happy, hey man, go for it. But the truth is, a lot of people are not happy. A lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people do feel trapped. And so what we're doing on this channel is we're providing a way out to inspire and to support each other, okay? That's where we're going with this. And this is also a grassroots channel. So it's kind of like a community channel, really. I don't even have like the PayPal thing up anymore, because maybe I do actually. I don't think I do. I don't want people to think that's what it's about. Because it's not. Trust me, it's not. Yeah. Monetization's a joke. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, we've been doing this for about a couple years now, I think. Maybe 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that. I don't think there's been more than a week that's gone by where you all haven't heard from me in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's a short, a video, a community post, I'm always been there the past 2.5 years, yeah. Quite consistently.
It's almost winter time.
In 3/4 of a mile, take the ramp on the right to north toward Portland.
Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're headed north. We're going to go through Portland, Oregon, up to Washington. And then we're driving to like Houston, Texas, I think. Something like that. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to do that all in like 8 hours. No, it's going to take some days. But it's going to take some time, folks. And as always, get to the chopper, okay? Don't forget. Get to the chopper! Hey, I love saying that. He didn't really say it that loud, though, in Predator. It was more like... How did he say it? I forget. But... Dylan! I still like Total Recall though, man. It's a great movie. I saw Total Recall at the movie theater when I was like 7 years old. And I'd never seen a woman with like 3 breasts. Maybe I was 10, I don't remember. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of rated R movies when I was a kid. Oh God.
Take the ramp on the right to I-5 north toward Portland.
One of my brothers and I, we used to walk to the movie theater. I mean, we'd walk like miles to get to the movie theater, and then we'd pay for one movie, and then we'd end up like, you know, loitering and hanging out. We'd pretend to go out the exit when the movie ended, and then we'd keep watching more movies. So we'd turn it into like a marathon, you know? That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess we're going to have some traffic, unfortunately.
In 4 miles,
Portland.
keep right to I-5 north.
Which kind of... Traffic isn't always the best. Ambulance passing me on my right. I couldn't get out of the way, so it's the best I could do. Seems like exercise is one of the most underrated things. We live in a society that's in denial about exercise, or I don't
know what that's about, man. I really don't. Like, a lot of people still regard it as like some kind of pursuit that vain people do, right? But even like the mental health system, they put people on all these meds before they even learn to change their behavior, right? So much stuff is behavior. Like changing your behavior can change your life. That in and of itself, like the stuff you actually do, physically, habits, diet, basic shit. It's amazing. Environment, all that stuff. Very critical. So welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Trucker. We are headed to Washington. We're going to pass through Portland soon. And then we're going to Houston, Texas. This is what we do as OTR truck drivers, folks. We drive all around the country. And one day this job will be automated, they say. All the infrastructure will need to be updated. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. The world will be a different place in 10, 20 years, folks. We're seeing glimpses into the future right now.
Of a mile, keep right to I-5 North.
I'll just live stream the whole day. We'll just do like an 8-hour live stream. That might be, I mean, why not, right? I'm not sure how that works.
In the right lane.
That would be kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just leave the friggin', we'll just do the whole day. Why not?
Continue on I-5.
Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Trucker. I want to thank everybody who watches the channel, all of our supporters, and over the years. And, you know, I was kind of in cruise control a little bit this year before I went to the Philippines. I was hitting it pretty hard for about 2 years, and then kind of getting back into it recently. Kind of goes in waves, you know what I mean? Tangerine's been great, man. You should check out her channel too. She's like really athletic. She can like swim like a lot of places, I guess. Swimming, man. I love swimming. We're gonna have to go back to positivity on this channel. Positivity is a good thing. It really is. But you got to check out the last video I did because I thought it was funny. I really did. I think it's one of my personal favorites. I did this whole. I broke down like the 7 archetypes of trolls. I just thought it was really spot on, man. I thought it was great. My favorite recently is like what I call the ex-fan. So that's a guy that liked you at one point, but then you failed to meet his fantasy or expectations or whatever, or he took something the wrong way, or you don't reply to his comment or something like that, and then he flips and it turns into like total resentment. I've had some of those. But anyway, we'll stay positive, I guess. We got a little bit of traffic here. Yeah, some of the Filipinos have been really great in supporting this channel. That's a true story, man. If anybody has to leave and come back, don't feel bad. I'm going to try to live stream most of the day today, see what happens. I don't expect people to sit here and watch the road all day. Although, you're welcome to.
1 mile, keep right to I-5 North.
This is Portland, Oregon, folks. I got some relatives that live up here, actually. I got relatives all over, man.
Be in the right lane.
Elvis Presley was a truck driver.
In 1 mile, take exit 300 on the right
I also think
to I-84 East.
Sean Connery was at some point too.
In 3/4 of a mile, take exit 300 on the right to I-84 East, then keep left. Take exit 300 on the right to I-84 East, then keep left.
Portland, Oregon, folks.
Be in either of the two left lanes. continue on I-84.
Almost out of Portland. We're heading east on the 84 towards Washington. live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Trucker. We are leaving Portland, Oregon, headed over to Washington. We're going to pick up a load and then drive down to Houston, Texas. Pull over and grab some bread, or have it, oranges actually. I like oranges.
In 1/4 mile, take the ramp ahead.
This looks like a cluster of madness. Why mess with it? Maybe I'll pull in, maybe I won't. What do you think? Should I pull in? Grab some coffee now. Welcome back, people. I've been up since 2 a.m. It's been a long day. I hope you're all doing good out there, man. I gotta get goodness gracious. I gotta grab an orange. I'll be right back. Who's out there? We got people in the room. Who's there? Pauline. Okay. That's good. Simulation theory, that's what it's about. Everyone's talking about simulation theory lately. You guys have any thoughts on simulation theory? be right back. I gotta check something. Okay, I am back, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's Captain Trucker. We're here in a parking lot in Portland, Oregon, as a matter of fact. And guess what? We're driving over to Washington, and then we're headed down to Houston, Texas. Okay. I have coffee, and I have my little tangerines. Do you see the tangerines? Isn't that nice? Y'all having a good time out there? Are you having a good day? Maybe I'll grab some more coffee. This coffee's really not that good. Well, let's go inside. We're going inside, folks. I'll take you with me, okay? Let's go inside. All right, welcome back, folks. I got disconnected earlier. Battery went out, as a matter of fact. But anyway, welcome back. Whoever's out there, I appreciate it. We're just leaving Portland, Oregon, and we are headed to somewhere in Washington. It's an undisclosed location. Welcome to the live stream, folks. Dude, I got up at like 2:30 this morning. Oh my goodness. Man, I really got to get some more sleep, guys. I'm okay though right now. Justin is here. Oh, that's great. That is just fantastic. All right, well, we're gonna hit the road again. And we started this live stream about 2 hours ago, so if you're just jumping in now, later you can review the first hour of this live stream. I talked a lot, but I'm giving my vocal cords a rest, and now we're cruising. So enjoy the ride. Yeah, enjoy the ride. All right, here we go. Did that flip over? There it goes. Okay, and while I'm driving, I can't see the comments because I got it mounted. I think the moderator might still be here, I'm not sure, but here we go, folks. Welcome back to the live stream, man. You guys are awesome, by the way. With a capital A. I thought it'd be a fun idea to sit here and just, I don't know, maybe like an 8-hour road live stream, just to give people an idea.
Turn left.
Oh, you don't always want to take the GPS message literally. Next thing is, I'm going to figure out where the exit is in this parking lot.
Turn right on Northwest Frontage Road, then take the ramp ahead.
So yeah, I keep hearing more about simulation theory, and I'm wondering, like, the people that say that kind of stuff, if like they've just reached points of their own success in their life, and they got a lot of money and stuff, and I wonder if they just start looking at the world as like a cartoon or something, or maybe when you're really comfortable and you've done well, like you have time to sit around and like you start looking at life as just like, or you start looking at life and people like it's just some game, like it's like these games of like animated characters that don't even exist, like they're just in a simulation being run by things. I mean, who knows, right? It's all possible. Any of this stuff is possible.
Take the ramp ahead.
Anything's possible. But I still don't understand what the theory means. So simulation meaning like we're in somebody else's reality? So the reality that we see, the joy, the pain and suffering, the physical world that we live in is not real? Is that how that works? But a lot of people are entertaining this idea. I mean, a lot of like intelligent people are too. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing, right? I mean, I'm all for like dimensions and like a spiritual world and all that. I mean, I absolutely believe that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the simulation theory is. I gotta look that one up now. Yeah, simulation theory.
Continue on I-84.
So everything that you see right now is apparently, it's real, but it's not real. That's like saying that like I'm some AI generated voice driving a truck. No, I'm not. I'm a person. It's kind of a trip though, beautiful? The ocean on our left. Look right there, that's a river or bay or something. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're leaving Portland, Oregon, headed over to Washington, and I'm driving down to Houston, Texas. If you like the view, smash that like button. I was just talking about simulation theory, trying to figure that one out.
on I-84.
possible to live in like, multiple realities. So while driving over here in the Pacific Northwest, one is also in the Philippines at the same time, both in spirit and online, and family. So we're sort of just part of everything, we're like everywhere collectively. This is how we get. back to the live stream, folks. You've reached the positive corner of the internet. That's what Arnold says in his newsletters. I signed up to Arnold Schwarzenegger's email newsletters. And he calls it the positive corner of the internet. Isn't that nice? And each week, you get an email from Arnold with training advice.